Imagine an intruder busting down your front door in the middle of the night. Police say it happened not once, but twice early Sunday morning in St. Petersburg. One family lives on 36th Street North, the other on 15th Avenue North. As News Channel 8's Melissa Beckman reports, police have 2 men in custody, but they're still looking for a third.
Baby Jenna is just 7 days old, and already her parents have one scary story to share with her when she grows up. As she slept Sunday morning, 2 strangers broke down the front door of her home on 15th Avenue North. Right next to this pink ribbon her proud parents hung to announce her arrival.
They were in the same room. They were right at the foot of our bed, but my fiance grabbed the baby as soon as I got them out of the room, and she hid in the closet and called the cops.
With Jenna and her mom safe in the closet, new dad Jeremy Reed says the intruders told him they had guns and wanted his car.
One of the guys in the back said, "I got the keys, let's go." They turned around, ran outside, got in our car. I ran back inside, grabbed a rifle.
Reed says he pointed it at them while they drove off. For 20 minutes, police chased 2 of the suspects through the streets of St. Pete and Kenneth City. It ended here at this Pinellas Park Applebee's, where they crashed and got arrested. St. Pete police say Anthony Stewart and Maurice Climbs were heavily armed.
We did locate 4 firearms, 2 of which are assault weapons.
Reed's house wasn't the first stop on their crime spree. They allegedly started here, robbing the 33-year-old mother who lives in this home on 36th Avenue North. Police say the suspects tied her up and made her 9-year-old daughter sit still next to her. Police believe a third man, who they haven't found yet, drove the getaway car to Reed Street, where baby Jenna's family was later terrorized.
Her 1-week birthday.
In St. Petersburg, Melissa Beckman, News Channel 8.
Climbs and Stewart are both convicted felons. They're facing several new felony charges, including home invasion robbery. The getaway driver is still at large. Bradenton police are searching for a person who drove up alongside a father of 5 and shot and killed him. It happened over the weekend as 31-year-old Renee Salinas was stopped at the intersection of 27th Street and 13th Avenue East. Police say there's no indication the shooting was a robbery or the result of road rage. In an 8 on Your Side crime tracker report, a family fight turns deadly in Hernando County. It happened yesterday afternoon at a home in the 10,000 block of Hay Street in Spring Hill. Deputies say a 17-year-old stabbed his mother's live-in boyfriend. David Floyd died of his injuries. Now the 17-year-old is facing first-degree murder charges. There's no word on what the fight was about. New this morning, a woman accused of killing Bay Area Lotto winner will not take the stand in her own defense. And closing statements in the D.D. Murder Moore case, there are being delayed while a courtroom observer is questioned about making threatening statements to witnesses. Last week, prosecutors laid out they believed Abraham Shakespeare's winnings gradually disappeared. Moore, who helped him manage some of that money, is accused of killing him and burying his body under a concrete slab. In court Friday, jurors heard a taped conversation in which Moore was questioned about the crime back in 2010. During that call, Moore flirts with the detective.
I'm not letting you get away with that. It's serious. Abraham comes out of hiding or whatever. You owe me a date, Merlinda.
Moore says she's being framed for the murder. If convicted, she could spend the rest of her life behind bars. Newport Richey police have tracked down a 69-year-old suspected bank robber. This is a surveillance picture of the suspect wearing sunglasses, handing the teller a note at the Capital City Bank last week. Thanks to an alert citizen at local Walmart, Harold Van Horn is now in custody. Officers say someone spotted Van Horn in a Walmart on US 19 acting suspicious, so they called police. Van Horn was already on probation for bank robbery back in 2009. For some Florida voters, last election was an absolute headache. The long ballot and other issues caused long lines and hours of waiting. Now, as News Channel 8's Adrian Pedersen tells us, officials are working to change that for next time around. The Secretary of State is beginning in Hillsborough County.
This was the scene about a month ago when some voters were still in line in Miami-Dade, and this was the morning after Election Day. Elsewhere, some votes were late being submitted and didn't even count. Long lines and other problems plagued voters in Palm Beach, Broward, and Lee counties. Florida election officials say something's got to give.
If you're in the burger business and you don't have enough cash registers or burger makers, and you don't appropriate the money for that type of service.
Brian Corley, the Pasco County Supervisor of Elections, is passionate about election reform. He spoke at the House and Senate Ethics and Elections Committee in Tallahassee and broke down the main issues with us.
It was almost a perfect storm, if you will, of a high turnout and a very lengthy ballot.
It was that unprecedented ballot that he says frustrated voters in his county.
In some cases, if a voter came in and had not reviewed their sample ballot and done the research on those amendments, they were in a privacy booth for upwards of 45 minutes to an hour.
Although he says there's no excuse for these excruciatingly long lines, there are a lot of rules election offices must follow that people simply don't know about, like how under Florida law, a voter can request an absentee ballot and have until 7 p.m. on Election Day to turn it in.
The example that comes to mind, Miami-Dade, the largest county in Florida, on the Monday before Election Day, on Election Day, had 56,000 ballots dropped off. With an 8-page ballot, their ballots are in English, Spanish, and Creole by federal law. That equates to nearly 350,000 pieces of paper that comprise those ballots.
In Hillsborough County, I'm Adrienne Pedersen, News Channel 8.
Election officials say they're not sure exactly what will happen at the meeting today, but that hopefully it'll provide enough insight for a change. The circus is moving out of its Tampa winter home. Up next, we'll tell you where the elephants will live now that they're leaving the Florida Fairgrounds. In a surprise trade for the Rays, 2 of the team's pitchers and 5 of their teammates are leaving Tampa.